हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू लॉ लर्निंग स्कूल। आज की वीडियो में हम डिस्कस करेंगे इम्पॉर्टेंट एमसीक्यूज फॉर द इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट 1872। हमने इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट 1872 की यूपी जुडिशरी के लिए एक सीरीज़ चलाई है एमसीक्यूज़ की। ये उसकी सेकंड वीडियो है। आप उसका फर्स्ट पार्ट जो है वो मेरे चैनल की प्लेलिस्ट में जाके देख सकते हैं। हम फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन को देखते हैं। Which of the following deal with the agreement to do impossible act in the Indian Contract Act 1872? Then option क्या है? Option section 52, section 56, section 55, section 59. Then right answer is option B, section 56. And the next question is which of the following deal with the agreement void where both parties are under mistake as a matter of fact in the Indian Contract Act 1872? Option क्या है? Section 14 or section 18, section 19, section 20, and the right answer is option D, section 20. And the next question is which of the following deal with the agreement by way of wager void in the Indian Contract Act 1872? Section 22, section 30, section 19, section 20. Then the right answer is option B, section 30. And the next question is which of the following deal with the agreement void if consideration and object unlawful in part of the Indian Contract Act 1872? ऑप्शन ए क्या है? सेक्शन 22, सेक्शन 28, सेक्शन 19, सेक्शन 24. देन राइट आंसर इज सेक्शन 24. And the next question is which of the following deal with communication, acceptance and revocation of proposal in Indian Contract Act 1872? Section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. And the right answer is option C, section 3. And the next question is which of the following deal with contract caused by mistake of one party as to matter of fact in the Indian Contract Act 1872? Section 14, section 22, section 19, section 10. And the right answer is option B, section 22. And the next question is which of the following deal with the definition of undue influence in the Indian Contract Act 1872? undue influence की definition बोला है कौन से section में दी है? section 14, section 18, section 19, section 16. The right answer is section 16. And the next question is which of the following deal with the effects of mistake as to law in the Indian Contract Act 1872? Option A, section 21, section 18, section 19, section 10. And option A is the right answer, section 21. And the next question is which of the following deal with the enforcement of contract contingent on event happening in the Indian Contract Act 1872? And option A is section 22, section 28, section 29, section 19 and section 32. And the right answer is option D, section 32. Which of the following deal with how revocation of proposal is made in the Indian Contract Act 1872? Section 2, section 6, section 3, section 4. And the right answer is option B, section 6. And the next question is which of the following deal with the liability of co-surety bond and different sum in the Indian Contract Act 1872? Option A 149, option B section 135, option C is section 147 and option D is section 140. And the right answer is option C, section 147. And the next question is which of the following deal with reimbursement of a person paying money due by another in payment of which he is interested in the Indian Contract Act 1872? Section 68, section 50, section 69, section 59. And the right answer is option C, section 69. And the next question is which of the following deal with skill and diligence required from agent in the Indian Contract Act 1872? Section 211, Section 212, Section 215, Section 210. And the right answer is option B, Section 212. And the next question is, promisee express or implied are deal with which of the following to be following of the Indian Contract Act 1872? Option A, Section 9. Option B, Section 2. Option C is Section 3. Option D is Section 4. And the right answer is Section 9. And the next question is, promisor not bound to perform unless reciprocal promisee ready and willing to perform is dealt under which of the following in the Indian Contract Act 1872, Section 51, Section 50, Section 55, Section 59. And the right answer is option A, Section 51. And the next question is, quasi or constructive contracts in one where an implied contract has also been applied to a class of obligation which are imposed or created by law without regard to the assent of the party bound. Option A, on the ground that they are dictated by reason and justice. Option B, which are allowed to be enforced by the action of ex-contractual for there is no agreement. And option C क्या है, but they are clothed with the same balance of contract for the purpose of remedy. And option D is all of them. Then right answer is option D, all of them. And the next question is, reciprocal contract is a contract which the consideration consists of mutual promise. Reciprocal contract क्या होते हैं? A contract in which the consideration consists of mutual promise. Option B is bilateral agreement. Option C is both A and B. Option D is none of them. The right answer is option C, both A and B. And the next question is, reimbursement under Section 69 of Indian Contract Act 1872 claimed from the date on which the money was paid. Option A, within a year, within 2 years, within 3 years, within 3.5 years. Then right answer is option C, within 3 years. And the next question is, relation between principal and person duly appointed by agent to act in business of agency. Section 80, option A, Section 180, Section 190, Section 185, Section 194. The right answer is option Section 194. And the next question is, representee may be option A, person to whom the representation is directly made and their principal, and person to whom the representative intended the representation to be passed, and C, a member of class at which the representation was directed. And option D is all of them. The right answer is option D, all of them. And the next question is, the right of person dealing with agent personally liable to discuss under which of the following in the Indian Contract Act 1872? Option A, Section 238. Option B, Section 222. Option C, Section 236. Option D is 233. And the right answer is Section 233. Right of a person dealing with agent personally liable is discussed under which of the following section? Is Section 233. And the next question is, a right of principal when agent deal on his own account in business of agency without principal consent is deal under which of the following in the Indian Contract Act 1872? Option A is Section 211. Option B, Section 219. Option C, Section 217. Option D is Section 215. The right answer is option D, Section 215. And the next question is Section 11 of Indian Contract Act 1872 deal with which of the following is option A. Personal capacity arising from age, personal capacity arising from soundness of mind, personal capacity arising from provision of law, and option D is all of them. Then right answer is option D, all of them. And the next question is Section 127 provide that is sufficient consideration for the guarantee. Option A, is anything done? Option B, a promisee which made for the benefit of principal debtor. Option C is either A and B. Option D is none of these. The right answer is option C, either A and B. And the next question is Section 128 of Indian Contract Act 1872 explain the quantum of surety obligation. Option A, when the term of contract to do not limit to do, and option B is when the term of the contract limit it, and option C either A and B. Option D is none of these. Then right answer is option A, when the term of contract to do not limit it. Okay. And the next question is Section 134 of Indian Contract Act 1872 would not apply where the release or discharge. Option A is not caused at the instance. Option B is not caused by any act of the creditor, and option C is either A and B. Option D is none of these. Then right answer is option C, either A and B. And the Section 135 of the Indian Contract Act deal with option A, the case which the surety is discharged by contract between the creditor and the principal debtor enter into without the surety consent to give time to or not to sue the principal debtor, and option B is the case of mere forbearance to sue as distinguished from forbearance springing from a contract, and provide that the surety shall not discharge in such a case. And option C, both A and B. Option D, none of these. Then right answer is option C, both A and B. And the next question is Section 138 of Indian Contract Act 1872 is necessary consequences of principle laid down in dash and must be taken as deliberate extension of rule which is the common law, and Section 44 is limited to the case of co-surety contracting severally and not jointly, and option B, Section 44 is limited to case to co-surety contracting severally. Option C is Section 44 is limited to case of co-surety contracting jointly, and option D is none of these. The right answer is option A. Section 44 is limited to case of co-surety contracting severally and not jointly. And the next question is Section 138 of Indian Contract Act 1872 residual section, the object of which is ensure that no arrangement with different from the contained in surety contract is forced upon him, and ensure the surety if he pay the debt has the benefit of every remedy which the creditor has against the principal debtor of both A and B, and none of these. Then right answer is option C, both A and B. The Section 17 subclause 1 defines which of the following ingredient as there should be a suggestion as to a fact, and the fact suggested from should not be true, and the suggestion should have been made by person who does not believe it to be true, and option statement 4 is the suggestion should be made with intent either to deceive or induce the another पार्टी टू एंटर इनटू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। आप ये कोड दिए गए हैं, इसमें आपको आंसर करना है। देन राइट आंसर इज ऑप्शन डी, ऑल स्टेटमेंट आर करेक्ट। And the next question is section 201 of Indian Contract Act is not exhaustive. An agency may be terminated by other mode such as by mutual agreement, completion of the term of agency by expiry of the term of expiry of a time agreed upon, and destruction of the subject matter of agency, thus agency becoming subsequently lawful, and dissolution of principal firm। एंड ऑप्शन ये कोड दिया गया है, इसमें बताना है कि कौन सा जो है वो इस स्टेटमेंट में फॉल होते हैं। तो ऑप्शन डी इज द राइट आंसर, ऑल ऑफ देम। द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज सेक्शन 202 of Indian Contract Act 1872 does not require that the document authorizing the agent A contain reference to the interest of the agent secured by the document, and option B give the power to appropriate the amount collected toward any debt due to agent, either A and B, and none of these. The right answer is option C, either A and B. Section 227 of Indian Contract Act 1872 provide that where the agent exceed the authority and does certain act, principal would be bound only by those act which are authorized provided. Option A is they can be separated from unauthorized act, and they cannot be separated from those act that are beyond authorization. Option C is both A and B. Option D is none of these. The right answer is option C, none, both A and B. Section 27 of the Specific Relief Act give power to court to adjudicate rescission of contract and where a contract is unlawful. Option A for causes not apparent on its face, and option B is the defendant is more the blame than plaintiff, and of both A and B and none of these. The right answer is option C, both A and B. And the next question is section 39 deal with refusal or renunciation by the promisor to perform and disability himself from performing the promise in its entirety, and option C is either A and B, and option D is none of these. Then right answer is option C, either A and B. And section 41 of the Indian Contract Act applies in the case of assignments, subrogations of both A and B, and none of these. The right answer is option A, assignment. And the next question is section 65 of Indian Contract Act 1872 provide that when the contract become void, any person who has received any advantages under its bound to restore it, make compensation for it to the person from whom it was received, and option C is either A and B, and option D is none of these. Then right answer is either A and B. And the next question is section 69 of Indian Contract Act 1872 embodies which of the following doctrine is a doctrine of frustration, doctrine of unjust enrichment, doctrine of implied contract, none of these. Then right answer is option B, doctrine of unjust enrichment. And on the next question is section 72 of Indian Contract Act 1872 has been restricted to case of payment of delivery is option A made by mistake, option B made under the coercion, option C is either A and B, option D is none of these. The right answer is option C, either A or B. And the next question is section 74 of Indian Contract Act 1872 applies to compromised decree, and it is open to the court executing such decree to go behind it if they contain a stipulation which is by the way of penalty, and option C is both A and B, option D is none of these. And right answer is of both A and B. And the next question is, Section 74 of Indian Contract Act 1972 requires proof general damages, actual or quantum of damages, either A and B, and option D is none of these. The right answer is option A, general damages. And the next question is, where there are the two courts which would normally have the jurisdiction and agreement to file a suit, and one of those court alone is void, option B is valid, option C is a voidable, is unenforceable. Then right answer is option B, valid. And the next question is, an obligation under a contract stand discharge, option A by proper performance, option B is by dispensation with the promissory performance, and option C is by death of the contracting party if the contract is personal in nature, and option D is all of the above. Then right answer is all of the above. And the next question is, under assignment of a contract, benefit under the contract can be assigned without the consent of a party, and burden under the contract cannot be assigned without the consent of a party, and of both A and B, and are neither A or not B. Then right answer is both A and B. And the next question is, in case of refusal to perform by one party, the other party, option A, can ignore the notice of refusal for the time being and wait till the time when the contract is to be executed, and can treat the repudiations as wrongful, putting an end of the contract, and option C, can waive his right to rescission of acquiescence. Option C is all of the above. Then right answer is option D, all of the above. A contract is not frustrated by commercial impossibility, by imposition of government registration or order, and by destruction of such subject matter of contract, and option D, all of the above. Then right answer is option A, by commercial impossibility. And the next question is, under section 73 of Indian Contract Act, especially with option A is a special damages cannot be claimed. Special damages can be claimed if a party breaking the contract is made now of the special circumstances at any time before the breach, and the option C is the special damages can be claimed if the party breaking the contract is made known of the special circumstances at the time of a contract. Option D is none of the above. Then right answer is option C, special damages can be claimed if party breaking the contract is made known of the special circumstances at the time of contract. Then section 73 of Indian Contract Act applies to contract as for the sale of movable property, for sale of immovable property, both A and B, and none of the above. The right answer is option C, both A and B. And the next question is, in case of general offer, for a valid contract, the acceptor need not have the knowledge of the offer, and option B is the acceptor must have the knowledge of the offer before acceptance of performance, and option C is the acceptor may acquire the knowledge of the offer after the performance of the condition amounting to acceptance, and option D is none of the above. The right answer is option B. The acceptor must have the knowledge of the offer before acceptance by performance. And the last question is, the principal performance of a condition is sufficient acceptance without notification of notification is contained in section 8, section 7, section 6, section 9, and the right answer is option A, section 8. आज के हमने 50 क्वेश्चन जो है वो कंप्लीट कर लिए हैं. यदि आपको मेरी वीडियो अच्छी लगी है देन डू लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब. एंड प्रेस द बेल आइकन फॉर फर्दर नोटिफिकेशन। और साथ ही साथ मैं आपको बताती चलूँ कि मेरे इस चैनल पर एक प्लेलिस्ट बनी हुई है, जैसे लॉ लर्निंग स्कूल में प्लेलिस्ट सब्जेक्ट वाइज प्लेलिस्ट बनी हुई है, जैसे MCQs ऑफ IPC, MCQs ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट, और सेक्शन वाइज भी IPC के 31 लेक्चर्स जो हैं वो अपलोड किए गए हैं। यदि आप वो वाली वीडियोस देखना चाहते हैं तो मेरे चैनल को विज़िट करिएगा और प्लेलिस्ट सेक्शन में वो वीडियो देख सकते हैं। और साथ ही साथ मैं आपको बताती चलूँ कि आगे आने वाली वीडियोस में मैं इससे आगे जो बाकी के MCQs होंगे वो डिस्कस करूँगी, और साथ ही साथ जो है सेक्शन वाइज रिवीजन भी हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं। आप उसको भी वीडियो को देखना, और लाइक करिएगा, वीडियो को शेयर करिएगा, सब्सक्राइब करिएगा और प्रेस करिएगा बेल आइकन को, ताकि आगे आने वाली जितनी भी वीडियोस हैं वो आप तक पहुंच सकें। थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग।